Happy holidays, beautiful souls. I hope you had a very Merry Christmas and so far had a great holiday season and you're celebrating and kicking off the end of 2023 in an amazing way. And a happy full moon to you all as well. For today is the full moon. We're still in Mercury retrograde and this marks off our final energy shift and wave of energy coming in onto our planet in 2023, which will also step us in to 2024 in an energy shift. So it should be really interesting to say the least. I have a few stories to share with you today in the news that align with past predictions and prophecy, but mainly today I'm going to share with you lots of 2024 predictions to preview with all y'all today in this special edition of Tea Time for December 26th, 2023. Unfortunately, we are starting to see the Pow events play out across the globe, like Spirit warned us. Spirit warned us around the holidays to be mindful, to be careful, especially if we're out and about shopping during the holidays. And I had a few disturbing visions, as you know, of holiday shopping mall horrors taking place around Christmas and the Christmas holiday. And even led to many Pow events that didn't end up occurring, unfortunately. We have the shooting that occurred in Prague. We had a mall shooting that happened in Hawaii. Just a whole bunch of craziness. I'm going to tell you about that energy and where that energy is going to take us into 2024. Some important information that you're going to want to know. Spirit warned us again and again about the country Turkey. And, remember my past visions involving Turkey being involved in military conflict. Well, over the weekend, Turkey did just attack Iraq. And here all along, I thought they were buddies. Guess I was wrong. Guess they're not buddies. They're obviously not buddies. We have tensions flaring up in Germany as they are making preparations with their military that they haven't made since World War II. That's definitely something to question right there. We have Israel continuing to pound the Gaza Strip, taking innocent lives, while Netanyahu is on his way out, according to the spirits. And I'm going to fill you all in on that today and on the global conflicts and where they're going to head in the year 2024. Remember months back, I had a vision of a huge wave hitting the side of a cruise ship. I thought like it was going to be a replay of what happened back in, I forget what year that was, but over in Italy where the cruise ship sank and took a couple lives. I had a vision of that occurring as well. Luckily, that didn't occur, but what did occur is that horror became a very true reality for passengers of a Norwegian cruise ship that was nailed by a rogue wave. A rogue wave that made it, luckily they all were good. They all made it through, but they did have to be towed back to shore and it ruined their whole vacation. And that brings me to a warning today for ships, boats, and the high seas for 2024 that you're not going to want to miss, especially if you're one that loves water like I do. With the wave of energy that's coming in onto our planet, now through January 11th to be exact, it's a perfect alignment that we can actually utilize for ourselves to leave behind everything that needed to be left behind for 2023 and previous to 2023. We have these new exciting light codes that are going to flow in right towards the end of this year and into the new year. I'm going to tell you all about these light codes and how you can absorb that energy and make the best out of it. All this, and again, a whole review of some of my 2024 world predictions that you will not find on my New Year's Day show, exclusive to today and this preview for 2024 in episode number 97, friends. Episode number 97 of Tuesday's Tea Time Predictions Update. And y'all know what time it is. It's tea time, baby. Nam, welcome, beautiful friends, beautiful souls. Hola, I hope you're all having an amazing day. And again, I hope that you all had a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Holiday season. And I hope that you're preparing to kick it off with a great new year, because the new year can be quite amazing. It's an 8 vibrational year, which I'll tell you all about later. But for now, I want to welcome you to my channel and back to my channel. My name's Joseph Tittel, aka Spiritman JT, and I'll welcome you with infinite love and gratitude. If you want accurate predictions, prophecy, and truth and good content, you found the perfect tribe. Smash that subscribe. Hang out with the tribe. Every Tuesday we're here, and other content throughout the week as well. But this is where you're going to find the best, most accurate predictions right here on this channel. I want to thank you for clicking the like button and showing your love and showing the algorithms so that the algorithms will show this content to other people. Most importantly, I want to thank all those who make this free content, free to you, possible. And that's those supporters of the Subscribe Star Awaken Your Spirit community, the links down below. Those that contribute in other matters through the links down below in the description as well. The members of the community on YouTube and thereabout. Remember, you can find me on Rumble, Spotify, and all those other places as well. Again, all the links are below. And check out my new website that you will now find at spiritmanjt.com. The josephtittel.com is still out of date, and I'm still getting it transferred over. So for now, you're going to want to go to spiritmanjt.com, where you could schedule and do everything right from there. You can even find out about my master classes that are coming up in February. February 4th, I believe, is the date. We need a couple more apprentices to hop aboard. Get a special discount before the end of the year, so check it all out down below in the link and in the newsletter below, or on the website itself. But if you want the discount codes, you got to go to the newsletter below so you have the code so you can get the special discount. Other than that, on New Year's Day will be my 18th annual New Year's Day World Predictions Live. Although it's not live, we already recorded it. We recorded it on the 23rd of December. I will edit that out, and I'll have that up for you on New Year's Day, and I will be in the chat room hanging out with you. It is a 2-hour broadcast, friends. 2-hour broadcast. The first part of the broadcast is all about the energy, what to expect, how to benefit from it. Second half of the broadcast is specific predictions. And I think there's about 40 of them, maybe a little bit more. I got a bunch for you today, too. So let's hang out. Don't forget to subscribe to the free newsletter below. So let us move on to episode number 97 of Tuesday's Tittle Tea Time. The beautiful full moon is upon us on this day after Christmas, and it makes for a very powerful day and a very powerful time for all of us, a time to utilize. This is the time, friends. You know, it only comes once a year, that last full moon of the year, which is today. With this Mercury retrograde still being in effect and lingering over top of us, this is going to usher in a wave of energy that is going to wash us right into 2024. I would expect there to be big events, huge events that have 2023 going out with a bang, but also welcoming in 2024 with lots of fireworks. Excuse me, it should be really, really interesting to say the least. Of course, these energies and these energy shifts always bring with it shifts in the tectonic plates as well. Shifts in even slightly shifting of our poles that have been shifting since 2011, I believe, along with severe weather, of course. So this would be the time to see some blizzards rolling into your area. I would tell everyone to expect off-the-wall weather patterns, off the wall between now and January 11th. And then that's when the energy shift comes to a close on the 11th. And then in many areas, many areas are going to experience the first series of massive ice and snowstorms, blizzards. Blizzards! I'd like to get a good blizzard. I'm waiting for a good snow, but I think here in Arizona, it's going to be mild this year. We had so much snow last year. I saw more snow last year than I saw since I was a kid. I was kind of over it. We had snow on the ground from winter solstice, December 21st, till spring equinox at the end of March on the ground. Crazy. Haven't seen that since I was a kid. And I'm in Arizona, but I am in the high desert, so it is much different. I'm not down there in the desert like in Phoenix or Tucson. I'm up a little higher, 5,200 feet higher to be exact. So a series of massive storms and all are going to come rolling in. And whether it be that you reside in the United States, the United Kingdom, Japan, or even Russia, Remember, we're never really 100% safe when it comes to the wrath of Mother Earth. So most importantly, always be prepared for any potential disaster because it just doesn't matter, especially as the Earth is shifting and more so each and every year. Earthquake activity is going to pick up over the next few weeks, and I would tell you to expect another massive quake between now and the middle of January. Perhaps even more than one, actually. The full moon and the energy shift is going to usher in new light codes, and this is quite exciting, I must say. New light codes that come in usually perhaps when they usually stem from solar flares. Spirit didn't say that this time, so I only tell you what Spirit tells me. But in most cases, we see major solar flare activity when these light codes come flying in. I mean, light codes would come from the sun. It would kind of make sense, wouldn't it? But not necessarily, Spirit says. Usually, but not necessarily. Regardless, they're coming in. And I would say, excuse me again, I got something in my throat, y'all. Tea can always fix that. Tea and honey, baby. Tea and honey. So these new light codes, perhaps stemming from solar flares, between now and early January, the biggest hit of these waves of energy and light codes is going to occur on December 30th through January 3rd, with the most intensity of these light codes happening on, of course, New Year's Day. So you may feel a little sluggish. I wouldn't recommend drinking very much or at all if possible on New Year's Eve. I won't be, because I don't, rarely. But Spirit says to drink lots of water, even starting now. Drink lots of water, but especially during that period of December 30th till January 3rd. Drink lots of water, more than you usually would drink, and make sure that you are getting plenty of rest over the next week, starting now. Lots of rest. This full moon might keep you awake a little bit. I rested pretty darn good last night, though, I must say. Some folks are likely going to experience ascension symptoms. Now, if you don't know what that is, I did a video not long ago. I believe it's titled The 11 Signs of Ascension. I'll try to make sure there's a link that I put up there so you can watch it and then give you a good idea of what's ascension symptoms. Because sometimes I'll have people saying, I'm going through ascension symptoms. I'm like, but there's really no ascension codes being sent in on the planet right now. I think you're just going through your own thing right now. But, you just never know. So check it out. Check out that video and you'll find out more about the ascension symptoms. All this information is actually very exciting in the aspect that we are receiving this wave of energy and these light codes, which are all going to help aid in people's awakening and awareness. And that's what we need, friends. We need more awakening and more awareness to come in. Remember, I tell you all the time, you cannot force other people to awaken. I get emails and comments all the time. Oh my God, my husband won't awaken or my spouse won't awaken. You can't force them. You can't even get them to try. You can only go about your own way with your own awakening and your own ascension. And you can't worry about them. And there may be a point where you're going to have to be willing to let go of those that aren't within that same vibration as you. Remember, we become those and the energy of those that we surround ourselves with. So when you're surrounded by miserable people, you're bound to be miserable. When you're around happy people and joyful people, you'll be happy and joyful. If you're around successful people, you're bound to be a success eventually. So surround yourself with the vibrations that you vibe with. Instead of focusing so hard on trying to get other people to awaken and ascend, it's not going to happen. It's all on their own. And there's going to be many people that are never going to. It's not going to happen for some people. Many people are going to opt out and exit this planet in large masses because they don't want to awaken. They don't want to see the truth. And that's their call. That's their soul contract. And we got to accept that and let them move on with themselves as we move on with ourselves. So receiving these waves of energy and these light codes, which is really exciting, is going to really help us to bring this year to a close and welcome in a new year. 2024 is an 8 vibrational year when it comes to numerology, and that's going to offer us all infinite possibilities. It's a great vibrational year to be in. Great things and amazing things can happen to us personally and universally on the planet. It's the Power to the People year. That is the label that I'm giving 2023, Power to the People, which I explain in depth in my New Year's Day predictions. So if you want to make sure you get my whole full 2-hour broadcast New Year's Day world predictions, make sure you subscribe, click the like. I'll get that uploaded probably by Thursday so that it's up there and you can find it. And I'll send out an email. So check out the newsletter below so that you don't miss it. And I'll be in the chat hanging out with y'all on New Year's Day for the 18th year in a row. It's kind of exciting. So, excuse me. So remember to tune in on New Year's Day for that special 18th annual broadcast. I just lost my spot here. But I will tell you one thing. 2024 is certainly going to give us a lot to talk about. Lots of stories to tell the grandkiddies and the nieces and the nephews and the little ankle biters. Lots of stories to be able to tell. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Events that are going to play out globally. And give you a little bit of a taste of my 2024 world predictions. Today's predictions are different, I must add, than what I cover on New Year's Day. These are in addition to New Year's Day predictions. So you won't find these on New Year's Day. Because remember, I told you I already recorded New Year's Day for my special supporters on the 23rd. This is all new stuff that I got from Spirit today, December 26th. All this information came to me today. Let's start with the Pow events, unfortunately. An angry mental illness and angry people. Because Spirit has been telling us for years now. Actually, it's been telling me since back in 2011 that humanity, as humanity ascends to higher levels of consciousness and the masses begin to wake up to the truth, there's still going to be always those who are resistant to this ascension, to the reality, and certainly resistant to the truth. So therefore, we would begin to witness yearly an increase in what we might call mental illness. Now, the Hopi natives, if you look at the Hopi prophecy, they call it the disconnect from Mother Earth. Well, they don't call it that, but they say it's a disconnect from Mother Earth. And actually, my exact word in my predictions back in 2011 was that we will begin to see the crazy becoming more and more crazy every year. That's what I said in 2011. You looked since 2011, people were becoming crazier and crazier each year. Not all people, but some people. The resistant ones who don't want to ascend, who want to be resistant to it all. So we should pray for these folks more than anything. We should pray for them and pray that their eyes will open and their hearts will open and they'll receive the energies that are being sent to the earth to assist us in this process of moving into the new earth that comes in the 2030s. And again, even the Hopi prophecy speaks about the zombies roaming around in cities made in our man-made mountains. Cities made of man-made mountains, meaning skyscrapers, of course. But that's what the prophecy says. And we do see this happening in the cities with fentanyl, for example. Fentanyl, and these people are walking around these cities, man-made mountains, skyscrapers, walking around like zombies. So we do see that occurring right now. We've been seeing it for quite a few years, but it's intensifying. And Spirit says, unfortunately, we are going to see a huge rise in mental illness, people losing their minds, and people with less than smart destructive behavior, such as, raiding businesses and stealing merchandise, which we're seeing, but it's just going to get worse. This is all part of the elite's plan, too. They don't want you to have stores to shop at. They want you to reliant to having everything delivered to your door, including your groceries, everything, which is somewhat convenient. But I don't know about y'all. I like to get out of the house and go shopping once in a while, even if I'm not buying anything. Sometimes I just want to get out and go shopping in stores and see what they got. They don't want you to do that. They don't want you to have that. It's why COVID and 2020 made it so hard and made so many small businesses go bankrupt and belly up. So not long ago, Spirit told us that we were going to once again witness a rise in angry people, which sadly leads to these pow events that take place globally. They always say United States, but it didn't just happen in the United States recently. It happened in Prague. Who would have thought Prague? So sadly, these events are going to continue to occur in places like universities, mosques, synagogues, and shopping malls. That's what Spirit told us months ago. Way back, prior to October, and all that conflict that's happening in the Middle East. Spirit told us that. And then when the conflict started in the Middle East, it made even more sense that Spirit would have warned those places, right? So the folks in Prague witnessed this and the horror of angry, cray-cray people, committing atrocities on innocent people. 14 people to be exact, who are no longer with us due to that event. And the man entered that university in Prague. We had a mall pow pow event that took place in Hawaii. We had another one that took place down in Florida. And there were 9 pow pow events that occurred in New Orleans over the weekend. New Orleans, I don't know if they still are, but they were the capital of murder once upon a time. They probably still are. But 9 shootings in one weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And about 40 miles south of Gainesville, Florida, police issued a $5,000 reward for the arrest of a man who escaped after firing a pow-pow and taking lives at the Paddocks Mall in Florida. In Colorado, a fight at a mall in the city of Colorado Springs led to another deadly pow-pow on Christmas Eve. And the list is just disturbing. I could go through the list. I'm not going to go through the whole list. When I looked it up, I was shocked by the amount of them. Just like Spirit said, and you don't see that all in the news. They only play out what benefits their agenda. And they did play out one of them. I haven't watched the news, but I'm sure they played out one of them. They played out the one in Prague for sure, but not anything that really happened here in the States on our news here in the States that I've seen. Again, I don't really watch the news, so I watch the independent journalism, and you should support that as well. So yeah, events streaming from angry people, wanting to take control. And unfortunately, these people what they need to control is their own anger and their own emotions. Thankfully, nothing that folks may have expected, with everything that's happening in the Middle East and all the warnings and the agendas that the media has been pushing out, we would have expected something much bigger. Not necessarily all of us, but some people. I expected that there would have been something maybe even bigger, but that's one incident is too many. One incident is too many. So thankfully, nothing like that did occur after the, mass media pushed that all out and feared people. But, we're still in the holidays. The holidays aren't over. Look at the security being heightened in Times Square. And I remember it was probably about 2 years ago, and Spirit's reminding me of this right now. I had a vision about an event playing out at Times Square in New York City during the dropping of the ball. Sometimes predictions take 2 to 3 years to come into fruition. I would think with current circumstances that they'd have like the military protecting those streets if they were going to still do it in New York, which they are still doing it. Under high alert, right? High alert. Let's hope that vision from a couple years ago never comes into fruition. Never, never, ever, ever, ever. Rather it not. So it's just 2024 we're not going to see a decline in these senseless acts being carried out by angry people. Instead, we are going to see a rise in these senseless acts being committed by angry people. Spirit also shows me that some of the chapters of the elite's evil circle, because there's different chapters, for example, the 3-letter organizations, like the C and the I and the A, people like that, or organizations like that, are planning an event similar to what happened on the rooftop in Vegas in that music festival years back. An event that I had visions of, and I predicted. If you go back to my 2017 predictions, I described that event to the T, practically to the T, close enough. And that was horrific, a horrific atrocity. So why would anybody want to plan such a thing? Other than crazy people, but why would somebody within the circle of the globalists want to plan such an event? Well, so why? Why? You got to ask yourself that first. Then we need to ask ourselves why and what's the agenda behind it all? Because God only knows what goes through these globalist psychopaths' minds. God only knows. And maybe even God don't even know because they're so crazy. But Spirit tells me that there are actually all forms. These big events, like what happened in Vegas, are forms of big rituals. They're like sacrificial rituals, things that they play out that they feel like they get bonus points from their demon gods or whatever they're worshiping. Something that the elite plan to do a lot more of, according to Spirit, in 2024 and 2025. So we must always remain mindful, always remain alert, and just remember to take care of ourselves and take care of others as well. Not just ourselves. Don't be so stingy and greedy. Take care of others as well. It's important we take care of each other. So last year in my 2023 world predictions, I had a disturbing vision of the music festival Pow Pow event taking place, which sadly did play out on October 7th in Israel. A sad tragedy indeed. Spirit has me feeling that festivals will once again become vulnerable from senseless, less than smart people filled with rage and anger. But not all of them. Not everyone, not every event. Because Spirit says that the elite always want us to believe that that's the case. And it's not always the case. Especially larger tragedies and events like what happened in Vegas years back in 2017. So we must always know in the back of our head of the technology that these globalists and these psychopaths actually have access to. An example that Spirit gave me was MK Ultra mind control. Interesting, right? Interesting. You ever read up about that? That's a rabbit hole and a half to go down. My Lord. A rabbit hole and a half to go down. So we will sadly not see the homeless community. We're going to sadly see the homeless community growing in size, which is pretty obvious, actually, if you ask me. And we are also going to begin to see and hear of more of the horrors that happen in these homeless camps. Horrors that will spread to people, basically meaning like it would become more and more dangerous to be around homeless camps, which I'm sure they already are, but the Spirit says more. As homeless people begin to experience even more extreme mental breaks, literally going crazy right on the streets and right in the streets. And yeah, again, I'm sure this is happening already, but Spirit said today that we were going to witness this more, hear about it more, see it more in the media, see it more being talked about. And that's the first key to helping something heal, is to talk about it so that we can make decisions and do something about it. But this is going to be a big focus in 2024, at least here in the States, but I think everywhere. It is the 8 vibration. 8 is all about life. It's all about the earth. It's all about that. It's all about infinite possibilities that continuously flow in that position of infinity, right? So the possibilities are unlimited this year. It can be an amazing year. That's why make this year the best year you possibly can. On the gloomy subject of attacks and events related to such, I've been warning France for months now, long before October and those attacks that happened in October, including I warned France of attacks on and around the Eiffel Tower. And we did witness such an event play out like a month or two ago with a crazy person with a knife at the Eiffel Tower. I did not realize until recently that the Olympic Games are going to be playing out in France. France will not be the only ones who will need to really be concerned and bring in double the amount of security when it comes to big events. As Spirit has me feeling that any place hosting big sporting events, concerts, are vulnerable in different areas, in different countries. From the arenas of France to the football or soccer should we say? Well, Americans say soccer, they say football. Our football is different than their football. I like their football better personally. But anyway, football type events, soccer events, and games related to soccer events. So like say Spain would be a big one. Maybe even Brazil, especially during the big, soccer bowl, the big football thing, what do they call it? During that. So we need to people need to be mindful of this. Because there's going to be someone out there attempting to spoil people's weekend plans and fun for entertainment. Speaking of entertainment, not that I find this person entertaining, but some of you may. Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift concert. It's going to go sour. She just had that happen recently, actually. There was a recent incident. I believe a person passed away from it at a Swift concert. But I see something much larger and more significant. And it feels to me more like an attack on Taylor Swift herself. Not that meaning that she's actually necessarily in harm's way, right? Keep in mind that the attack could be more likely towards her fans or towards the concert in a way of trying to get to her, if you see what I'm saying here. And I see like a list of cancellations when it comes to her. I would think that concert might be somewhere over in Europe, but I'm not sure. Just tell you what Spirit tells me. I can analyze and try to interpret all I can, but just go with Spirit's words. Remember the entire Burning Man disaster that happened in 2023 and people being stuck there? And Spirit says we're going to witness several other big festivals going sour. Another weather-related with lightning that claims at least one person's life. I see part of a stage or a setup like in front of the stage blowing over or falling over sideways. It went over sideways. I saw folks scattering to avoid being crushed by whatever is falling. I also said this a few months ago, but Spirit reminded me this today, that many people within the LGBTQRSTUV, I can say that, but I lost track. I lost track of that a long time ago. Mainly, actually, not just LGBT, but the trans community. And I said this months ago. I told you that they were going to become a big target. Well, Spirit reminded me of that again today. So we didn't see that in 2023, even though I said it about 6 months ago. But sometimes predictions, again, take some time to come into fruition. Being that Spirit reminded me of that today, I have no doubt that that's coming in 2024. It's going to be, the trans community is going to be the center of attack in 2024. As they begin to fight harder and even stronger for their rights. It feels to me that they are joining, not literally joining, but kind of joining with other groups out there. Not coming together, but like it seems like a joining of a lot of other groups out there. For example, like say the Jewish community that's protesting and worried at the universities and such. Just an example. But I see many groups coming together who will need to watch over their shoulders due to people in this world who hold, sadly, hatred to different groups and different genders and so forth. So sad. I don't get it. Love one another, people. Why do you care about other people and what other people do? It's like, it just doesn't mind bother. Just don't care. Just put on your, I did, me and my buddy Barry said it yesterday. We bought ourselves a pair of, I don't give a you know what panties. Just don't care. You just don't care about the things that matter. Don't care about the crap that don't matter anymore. Anyway, moving right along. Where was I? What were we talking about? Oh yeah, the different groups. So what I would like to see is more love and more people coming together, of course, which is and will continue to happen, actually. So this will bring people together. It will divide people, but it is bringing people together. See, and that's what we might not be seeing, or some people may not be seeing. It's just that mass media wants you to take it as a big divide instead of seeing these people that are actually truly coming together and making a difference. And we will get to witness that in 2024 when we see groups making a great difference, an amazing great difference. The sad and unfortunate events that the LGBT and trans community will endure in 2024 includes a need to be more mindful when they're out at the clubs and at the bars. Because I see a series of events playing out around and near gay hotspots. Not necessarily bars, but hotspots. Like so in Philly, like the Gayborhood, for example. Reminds me of what happened in Florida years back. Wasn't that in Fort Lauderdale or wherever that was in Florida? Miami, I can't remember. But that horrific event. So let's hold in the light that doesn't happen, and that all people are protected when they're out having a good time at a festival or at a bar or wherever they're at, because that's what it should be. Be able to go out and have a good time without having to worry and watch over your darn shoulder. So just with all the information I just provided thus far, we can see that the energies are going to be intense in 2024. But I will say that 2025 is actually going to be way more intense than 2024, so don't sweat it. So knowing this, and being aware of this being the case makes it all the more important that we create a daily routine every day that includes a combination of prayer and, most importantly, meditation. Meditation can literally assist us more than anything. And most importantly, meditation can assist you in these ascensions, in these ascension codes, whereas you're not experiencing ascension symptoms. People that experience the most, severe ascension symptoms, there's a resistance there. That's why you're experiencing it. You're not opening to the flow. Any kind of resistance will give you those symptoms. Just like I said, crazy people going crazier. That is an ascension symptom. They're resisting the energies and resisting, what life has to offer, and therefore they're going the opposite direction and kind of losing it a bit. They lost their connection to the earth. They lost their connection to themselves and to their souls. It's actually quite sad. Don't allow that to happen to you. Instead, use meditation, use prayer, and use these things to help you more easily flow through these awakenings and ascension codes. Otherwise, again, not doing so, you're going to experience more intense symptoms, very much more intense, such as vertigo and loss of sleep or too much sleep or what have you. So make 2024 the year for you that you make a dedication to yourself, a dedication to your body, mind, and spirit. It's of the utmost importance. And I'll discuss more of this on New Year's Day in my 2024 predictions when I talk about the energies of 2024 in the first part of that broadcast. Let's talk about global conflict, as much as I don't like to, but there's an awful lot of it going on. Not as if we haven't already witnessed more than enough global conflicts, from Russia to the Ukraine, from Israel to Hamas, and now Turkey to Iraq. And here, I thought they were buddies, but I guess that's not the case. I do see some type of group forming. As I spoke about this group in the past, for a couple years now, I believe, that brings together several groups that reside between Turkey, Iraq, Iran, and a few others. And I would expect to see this new but old. Again, it's old but new. It's like the old coming together and a new. It was really weird. And I would think that we would see this coming to a forefront by late 2024. And I believe it's going to carry with it a new name, because they're a combination of, like, say, Taliban, ISIS, Hamas, and others. So therefore, they'd have to come up with a new name that they all agree on. Or that those that fund it, because we know they're all funded. Where do you think they all got their weapons from? You notice, remember ISIS? They were driving Toyota trucks and carrying all American weapons. It's like, come on, man. Where do you think they got that from? Just mind-blowing to me. Crazy, crazy world we live in. It's a wonderful world we live in, though. So this plan's going to fall apart soon after its launch. Whatever they're planning, this new group, by the end of 2024, it will be launched, whatever this plan is, but it will quickly fall apart, which I believe, again, won't be... It might not even actually be for that event to take place until 2025, but we may see it start to play out at the end of 2024. We're also going to see a temporary ceasefire and maybe even a temporary end to the Israel conflict, but this is going to be very temporary and short-lived. And Israel now needs to remain on its highest alert ever, as they begin to anger more and more countries to the point of igniting more conflict and dragging others into it if they don't stop soon. So they're at a crossroads. They need to make a decision. Something needs to happen. America, somebody needs to do something, or it's going to go in a direction that's just not good for Israel, especially. And that's why I see Netanyahu falling. He ain't going to be there long. They're going to get him out of there. That's 2024, friends. Big focus on power. Big focus on power struggles and fighting over power. And again, I'll go in depth about those power struggles on New Year's Day. So make sure you set your notifications and make sure you subscribe down below. I warned I warned in last year's predictions that I saw Poland and our friends in Poland being dragged into a conflict or even igniting their own conflict. And it was one of quite a few predictions that did not come into fruition in 2023. But it doesn't mean they won't in 2024, because I see something around Poland for 2024 into 2025. And the people of Poland are going to take to the streets against their leader and the decisions to enter these conflicts. And we're going to see an uprising, not just Poland, but globally. The Middle East, I would expect that we would end up seeing the biggest uprising all throughout the Middle East, whether it be Iran, whether it be the people of Israel, but it's happening. It's happening. It's exciting. Uprisings are exciting when people, again, it's all about power to the people, friends. This is the year. We take back our power or we're doomed. It's one or the other. And I believe that we're going to take back our power. So let's make this clear. As much as it appears to be the global psychopaths that are pushing these world conflicts and world conflict narrative, I do feel that 2024 is not going to be a World War III. People keep thinking, oh my God. Take a deep breath, friends. Deep breath, friends. Deep breaths. Breathe deep. The Gathering Blue. Do you know what song that is? Watch lights fade from the heavy winds. Guess that song in the comments below. I bet you nobody knows. I know. I bet you somebody knows. Somebody's got to know that. I'm not going to sing the main song, and then you'll know what it is. So going back to the narrative that they've been pushing and people feeling and worrying about World War III, I don't feel like that's the case. So take a deep breath. But I do feel like that could be the case come 2025 or soon after. Well, let's not even push. Let's get through 2020. Let's get into 2024 before we worry about 2025. But I go back to what I said in 2017, maybe 2016. 2025 to 2032, Spirit told me would be the biggest, the most challenging time for humanity ever. That time period, which I determined to be the 7 years of tribulation. That's my determination. Because 2025 is a 9-year. It's all about endings, death cycles, letting go, getting rid of. 2032 is a 7-year. And the period from 2025 to 2032 is 7 years. Just makes sense to me. That would be 7 years of tribulation. Again, I could be wrong, but it's definitely going to be tribulating for sure. So don't worry about the big world war happening in 2024. I don't feel like that's the case. Same with nuclear war, because a lot of people were worried about that. And I do not believe we will see that, but I do believe that we may see the ignition of what appears to be a small tactical nuke, but I do not think that it's actually a nuke. Similar in its power, but much different. And this takes me back to a memory. Remember, Spirit told us in the past that we would see in the future weapons being used that we did not know existed. Now, we know all friends, we all know what happened to our friends in Lahaina. We all know we saw the video clips. We know our hearts tell us what happened. Again, weapons that now we know exist that many people didn't know existed prior to, and that's just an example. But again, this big thing blowing up. Remember my past visions and channel predictions of several massive simultaneous explosions being set off? Hopefully that's not in 2024. That was in my channel predictions though, which I only did like in the past month or two. You can go back and check those out too. Interesting stuff. I'm actually overdue for a channel prediction video where I go into the deep trance and carry that to you. So I'll have that by the first week of January for you. We'll start off the new year good. So yeah, I don't believe, I just see this some kind of weapon that is something that we didn't expect. Something we may not be aware of. Kind of more like what do they call them? A dirty one. A dirty boom. Dirty boom booms. Similar in power, but again, much different. Remember, Spirit has been telling us that we were going to see those weapons used that we didn't know existed. And this could be something that we see detonated potentially, just potentially. Remember, these are just predictions and not all predictions come true. Detonated outside of a stadium, perhaps one in France, but I'm not really clear what the location is. I just feel somehow this actually ends up backfiring on the culprits that try to set this off. So let's hold that in the light that that's correct. And that it backfires on the culprit. And that there could be many different ways that could backfire on them where it just doesn't happen at all. Or it backfires on them and blows up in their face. Many scenarios. We'll have to just wait and see and hope it doesn't happen at all. Other than the backfire on the people. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be really good. Let's talk about China, because China is becoming a huge problem, more than they already are in 2024. And they want to take over everybody's valuable minerals and reserves, according to Spirit. They're greedy. They want everybody's everything. Especially after there's going to be a major discovery that's made in one country of an extremely valuable mineral. Spirit didn't tell me what it was. I kept asking, but I just said, they just kept saying an extremely valuable mineral. Perhaps even something newly discovered. I don't know. Spirit didn't give me a name. but China's going to want its hands on it. And I don't know where this is happening or where this is in the mountains. Spirit just said, in the mountains. Well, obviously minerals would lie in the mountains, spirits. That's all I got for you, friends. Maybe I'll get more by next week. But I have more about China, of course, in my New Year's Day world predictions. Some people believe that Russia and China are together. And they might be for now, but even Russia cannot trust China, according to the spirits. Remember what the Bible prophecy states. Nation against nation. Nations rise against nations. Well, this is going to become more obvious in 2024 as we see nations rising against nations, especially when China and other countries, too, renege from their agreements. We're going to see lots of broken promises and lots of broken agreements when it comes between power heads and countries. Remember, 2024 is an extremely power-driven, power-focused year. It's all about power. It's the 8 vibration. And this is where we got to take, again, the power to the people. We have to take that power. And again, I'll have more details, very detailed information in the 2024 New Year's Day broadcast. The United States is going to continue to push their power and, flex their muscles. Flex their muscles. That's what the United States is going to attempt to do. Flex their muscles, their power, and their desires to start a conflict with Iran. Even though, they're going to probably try to force Israel actually to take the front lines for them. Kind of like they did to the Ukrainians with Russia. And like the United States don't need to fight it. They'll just pay someone else to do it and sit on the front lines. And just awful. Absolutely awful. But that's probably what they're going to do. They're going to push Israel into the conflict with Iran. And then get involved. Because you could see them getting deeply involved. And if that happened, of course, Russia would be involved. And I don't think any of that's going to happen until 2025, if it even happens at all, friends. Let's hold in the light that it doesn't. But the Ukrainians and all that and everything that happened, here's what Spirit says warns the most. Spirit says, watch for the flags that fly ever so falsely. And, that's our little way of saying it here. And you know what I mean when I say that. They're going to use such events as excuses to launch their agendas and attacks on others. We saw that back in 2001. The United States will send drones to attack Iran, Yemen, and will even endure Taliban issues in Iraq and Afghanistan. With election season approaching, candidates are going to go after Joe Biden for pulling out of Iraq the way he did. They'll use that against him. Of course they will. It was a really bad decision, I must say. But we will hear more about, we're going to hear a lot of, look what's happening now because we pulled out. That's what you're going to hear a lot. See, look what happened because you pulled out. See what happened. Look what happened. Interesting stuff, right? Interesting stuff. Let's move on to, where was I? We all love a great scandal when it unravels. And when we see somebody that was once considered to be innocent actually coming out to be very guilty of many crimes, it's even more scandalous than ever. And I see a lot of scandals breaking out around politicians and political circles, starting with the sex scandal that's going to break out from Washington, D.C. Even a new sex tape that's going to go viral. Multiple, actually. One reminded me of Kim Kardashian's tape from way back. For some reason, I don't know why, but that popped in my mind. One will not be the typical sex tape either, according to Spirit. It's going to be more like a very disturbing video of someone committing crimes on film would be more like it. Crimes of the sexual nature, unfortunately. Big scandals are going to break out around the CIA, the FBI, and even Justin Trudeau in Canada, when his life goes on the line and is in danger as well. Lots of politicians' lives are in danger in 2024. I'll elaborate on that in New Year's Day. Another scandal is going to be around Netanyahu. He will soon be taken from power as he struggles and fights hard to keep his seat of power while destroying as much as he possibly can, along with thousands of more innocent lives, unfortunately. This is going to cause people to get way past the line of being fed up. And they're going to start demanding that he is removed from power. We're going to see this throughout 2024 with power struggles and leaders being taken out and so on. I have many specific predictions revolved around leaders and the future of our leaders on New Year's Day. Egypt and Cairo comes to mind, along with prior warnings and predictions for Cairo in past shows, if you remember. Remember, I felt a big shaking that was going to come to Cairo, which I felt was a combination of being literal and being metaphoric. First, being literal, meaning that a large earthquake would hit Egypt, and a large quake might actually hit the center of Cairo, Egypt specifically. I also see a political shaking for the entire country of Egypt and for their economy as well. I see severe record flooding hitting parts of Egypt, causing evacuations in the springtime. I also see another country trying to pull them into a conflict that they're not interested into entering, and we again together can hold in the light that they don't enter it because they don't want to. It's almost like they're being forced to. And let's talk about things upon the water and in the sea, under the sea. 2024 is highlighted by 3 elements, friends: earth, water, and fire. Being the big one is going to be with water and the earth both being highlighted together. So I have no doubt that we are going to witness probably more than one tsunami as a result of underwater earthquakes, of course. I warned my friends in Japan, which I just did about a week ago, because I talked to our friends in Japan about the Pacific coast, right off of the coast of Fukushima, becoming active again. I think I said that last week or the week before. Well, Spirit showed me that today again, problems around Japan, and made me think of things like back in 2011. Perhaps even, again, them receiving a small tsunami as a result of an underwater earthquake. Perhaps. I know it's coming. I don't know where, but I know it's coming as far as that big wave. New Year's, remember, again, I warned Japan even more thoroughly on New Year's Day predictions. It's obvious that the planet's going to be a huge focus in 2024. And we're going to witness some of the biggest floods in history before we dry out during the hottest summer on record. So water also will affect everything on water. So that includes boats, ships, submarines. And I had a vision of a big wave slamming into a cruise ship. And the rogue wave did exactly that and slammed into a Norwegian cruise liner. I told you that earlier. And it survived, luckily. But if I remember the one in Italy, so that came to my mind. So what we're going to see, though, not that that's related, but it's still related to the waters. We're going to see way too many events playing out when it comes to the water and the waters and the oceans in 2024, including a massive oil spill, Spirit just said, a sabotage pipeline that's leaking into the ocean. It reminds me of what happened in the Gulf of Mexico off the coast of Texas and all back years ago. That was awful. There's still oil all laying there on the bottom of that Gulf of Mexico. I don't think I'd want to eat any fish or anything from down below anyway in that water. So I would expect something like that to occur as well. And Spirit just showed me that. That's not in any of my notes. So this is another thing that's going to be really important because I love the water. Hey, I am a Cancer moon sign. I love being in the water, especially the ocean. I miss Mama Ocean. It's one thing I miss living out here in Arizona now. I miss driving to the Jersey Shore. That's why I'm thinking of going back to visit, but I'm thinking maybe summertime so I can go down to the beach. I got to go to the beach. So it's going to be more dangerous this summer for swimmers and surfers because undercurrents are going to become responsible for a record amount of drownings, especially in some areas more than others, and boating accidents and incidents involving boating accidents and even water skis. It wouldn't be a year to water ski for the first time, that's for sure. And professional, that's different. But like for the first time ever, I wouldn't pick 2024. Being water is such a big emphasis, and especially, well, we're almost out of that accident-prone energy, thankfully. So boating accidents and incidents, so be very, very careful, my friends, when you're on or near the waters in 2024. Speaking of cruise ships, I see a cruise ship being raided by what I assume is pirates. And that was a quick vision I had today. And I have a lot more information and predictions when it comes to pirates. So if you want to hear my pirate predictions, you got to tune in on New Year's Day. I see a submarine incident. Not an accident. Ain't no accident. That's for sure. Spirit say ain't no accident. And it feels to me almost accidental, but very shady, if you know what I mean. So it's not accidental. They're probably going to tell us it is, but it's shady. And if it's shady, we know it's shady. Pretty simple. And the sea becomes the grave for the submarine and those aboard. This could be perhaps in the Red Sea or really nearby the Red Sea. Where'd that all come from? I got mixed in there. I don't know why Justin Trudeau's here. We already mentioned him. That's enough for him. That's enough for him for one day. I said that. Oh, this is interesting. I forgot to elaborate on this in my notes. The dead will rise and appear alive. The dead will rise and appear to be alive. I'm like, you mean like Michael Jackson? And they're like, nah, he's dead. He was murdered. I'm like, Prince? Nah, he's dead. He was murdered too. I'm like who? Elvis? And then they were like, maybe. I got a big maybe with that, and that's all I got. It was kind of like that. The dead would rise and appear alive. So I would say people that we thought were dead, or people that faked their deaths, like that submarine that imploded, the Titanic. Oh, yeah. Like that. They totally faked their death. Totally 100%. Like somebody like that coming out and being like, oh, yeah, look, they're alive. Here they are. Or anybody, somebody that we thought was dead, whether it be Elvis Presley or someone else. But that's all I heard today. The dead will rise and appear alive. I was like, okay, creepy spirits. We're going to see more bank closures and many more hacks into the banking system in 2024. And this is going to bring about more successful hacks into systems than ever before, more successful than ever before. Successful for the hackers, of course, including hacks into the currencies and attempts to clear it out. So whether this be one bank or one credit card company, but it's like attempts to try to get in and clear things out, which is almost impossible, according to spirits for them. Not impossible, but almost impossible. But they're going to be successful with a lot of this in their hacks. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I think I'm pretty sure I have more specific hack predictions for New Year's Day. And even problems for companies like PayPal and even the big banking corporations. I warn once again against several new cryptocurrencies that are once again going to disappear with people's money. So be very careful. Spirit said they were newer currencies, so I would stay away from the newer cryptocurrencies. I'm not a financial expert. I am a psychic and take all this as predictions. That may or may not happen. But Spirit said, and I said that before, and I told people that a lot of people are going to lose their money. Look what all happened. Look what all happened. Some people actually listened to me, took my advice, and saved themselves lots of money. Some people saved all their money when they got out when I told you to. So the A vibration of 2024, remember, is all about money and finances. You must be very, very careful with your money and finances in the 8 vibration because it can either make you or break you. So you can make a ton of money. Don't think it's a break. Oh, it can be a make. It can be a huge year make. Like play the lottery, y'all. This would be a year that you could win it in an 8 vibration for sure. Especially if you're in your own personal 8 vibration. Last few things I have here for you today is women. Women, ladies, my beautiful ladies out there are going to really begin to rise up in 2024. It's kind of like, it reminds me of like Spirit shows me visions of way back when women were fighting for their rights to vote. It reminds me of that. Spirit showed me those visions going back to those days before my time. But a rise up of women in 2024. One of my 2024 slogans, remember, is power to the people. And that is exactly the stance that so many women globally are going to begin to show the world. That the power resides with the people. Hallelujah, amen to that. So this is going to include more women attempting to fight and take seats of power. That's I say all the time. We need a good woman president. Now, not like Nikki Haley. She's just a part of all the rest of the darkness. We need to just pick a home mother, a good mother, just out of some house in America, and make her our president. She'd probably be the best. Someone that's not even plugged into anything political. Probably would be the best. But anyway, moving right along. So women really attempting to fight to take seats of power. While in places like the Middle Eastern countries, like Afghanistan and Iran, women are going to step up to the plate to fight for their rights and their freedoms. A fight that will sadly become, violent, unfortunately, in certain areas when it's taken center stage. So it'll be interesting. Women fighting for the rights. Go, ladies. I'll be right there helping you fight for your rights. We should all be there helping each other fight for our rights. It's of the utmost importance. And New Year's Eve is coming up in New York City. I worry about that. I wouldn't want to go there on New Year's Eve and watch it on television, folks. It's much safer at home. I'm in bed by midnight. I'm in bed before midnight. I won't even be up. Well, maybe this year I will be, because usually every year I'm crunching to get my predictions done for New Year's Day. Whereas this year I had to crunch to get them done by the 23rd of December. And I still didn't go through the astrology yet. I haven't even looked at that for 2024. I just went with what I got. And again, if you want to see it, hit me up on New Year's Day. I'll be live. And I'm wanting to chat with you. And we're going to say probably 12 noon lunchtime. 12 noon, 1 p.m. Mountain Time. So on the East Coast, you're looking in the afternoon. Sometime in the afternoon, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock rock, middle rock, around the clock to the night. And that's what I got for you for today. And I got to hurry up and upload this because it's late. And I really hope that... Oh, wait, I got a couple cards here to open first. Spirit must be telling me to read some damn books, because now my friend brought me this book, which looks really, really interesting. Shadow Catchers. A Journey in Search of the Teachings of Native American Healers. That's some good stuff right there. And I was looking at the other books that I think Lisa was one of them, and I can't remember the other. One was about community. I was really interested in that, so I will be looking deeper into those books. I know that there's stuff in my P.O. box, but I went and they were closed, and whatever package somebody sent me was too big to fit in my box. Look how cute the little snowman card is. And who is this from? I hope you have a great Christmas. Looking forward to watching your predictions for the new year. Merry Christmas, Danielle A. Where are you from, Danielle? It doesn't say on here, does it? Oh, Ben Salem, Pennsylvania. Home, baby, home. Thank you, Danielle. I appreciate your cards and presents, and Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to you. Ooh, there's a $50 bill in there. Holy Holly. Holy Holly. It's from Holly. Wishing you a happy holiday season that's warm with happiness and a new year filled with joy. Thanks for all that you do, Holly. Have a holly jolly Christmas. Thank you, Holly. That was really, really generous of you. Thank you so much. And thank all of you so much for your chat cash, for joining the community, and just for being the amazing you that you are. Remember, I will see you on New Year's Day. May you celebrate the rest of the end of this year. Do some meditation, let go of what you need to let go of from this year and previously, and start off the new year in an amazing way. Start it off with me on New Year's Day, and I hope you will be there. Until the next time, friends, celebrate life and celebrate you. Be kind to others as you wish others be kind to you. It's the right thing to do. And most importantly, remember to be bold, be true, be kind, be you. Why? Because you're friggin' amazing. Why not? And have a beautiful rest of your day and a very happy New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And I hope to see you New Year's Day. Have a beautiful one. Much love. Much love, friends. Much love.